I am in my late 40s, and if I could go back 20 years, maybe to my late 20s, early 30s, this is the advice I would give myself on clutter. Imagine waking up in a home that feels uncluttered, nothing's weighing you down, nothing's worrying you, you can find everything you need. Today I'm giving you brutally honest decluttering advice. This is advice I wish I had known before, I wish somebody had told me, and I think this advice is gonna help you if you are in a similar situation, maybe you're decluttering, or maybe it's early, maybe you haven't made these mistakes yet, in which case, take some notes and let's get started. The number one thing I wish I had known, and I think that this was the source of a ton of my clutter, and I can see it in my kids now because they're doing the same thing that I used to do. My tip here, do not take the free crap. Just say no. Unless you need something, unless you've been looking for something and you need it, just don't take it. I'm not just talking about things you get at work events and conferences and all of that swag that you get. I'm also talking about hand-me-downs, things, those boxes on the street that say free. Clutter isn't just about what you buy, it's also about what you accept. Just because something is free does not mean it belongs in your home. You can say no to these things. It's okay to politely decline hand-me-downs. Now, don't get me wrong, there were some hand-me-downs that I've accepted over the years. They've been amazing and super helpful and great, but it doesn't mean that I want all of them, because then what happens is that person's problem just eventually becomes my problem. The second piece of advice is, and this is another one that I really wish I had thought about, the tip is to realize that just because you have the space doesn't mean you need to fill it up. Empty space is valuable space. Just keep telling yourself that. When we moved into this home, it was very overwhelming, and I think this is kind of where the clutter problems began, because we had been in a small 2-bedroom apartment, and then we moved into this house. It was much larger, probably I'd say 3 times as big as our house, maybe even 4 times as big. And I said to myself, gosh, I need to fill this house up. It feels so empty in here. We went on a rampage. We bought lots of furniture. We bought lots of stuff. Obviously, we were having kids. We had 1 kid. 2 more were coming shortly after that. And I do think that in my mind, I thought, okay, well, we have a house, so we have space, and we should get this stuff and we should fill it. I encourage you to think of things like empty corners and empty shelves as freedom, right? A beautiful sight, and you can clean it easily. It does not mean that you don't have a cozy, nice home. It simply means you don't have a lot of inventory and crap to manage. The next thing I wish I had known, and this is very honest, is you don't need the trendy things. You think you do, and this happens a lot, I'd say more so in your 20s and 30s than it does after that, but it still happens to me. I still see what's in style, what should I wear, and I think to myself, well, maybe I need to get some of these so that I don't look old. If you chase every style, you are going to end up drowning in clothes, drowning in purses, drowning in bags. I urge you, let me tell you what I did. I've done this recently and this has helped me a lot. I got my color analyzed, okay? I was using a free app, and I will link the app below in case you want to see what season you are and what color you are. But then I bit the bullet and I paid someone to do it. And actually they did it online. It was a lot cheaper than having it done in person. And I have to tell you, it has changed everything. I am wearing this pink tank top that I actually got simply because this is in my color season. I never ever would have picked up such a color tank top for myself, but guess what? Now that I know what colors suit me and what don't, now I can easily stop myself from chasing trends. I can stop myself from buying useless things. I can declutter my closet of the things that don't suit me. So I do think finding out what suits you, whether it's your color, your body shape, your body type, all of those things will really help you narrow down your focus and understand you don't need to chase those trends. You don't need to have a bucket bag just because that's in style for 2025. This is my advice. Stick to your classic clothing and maybe add 1 or 2 trendy pieces every year, but only because you like them, not because you feel pressured to keep up with somebody. The next one, and this is another thing that I just was very confused about before, but I get it now. Decluttering is not organizing. I thought for so long, I kind of confused the two, and I thought to myself, okay, well, I'm not cluttered. I simply don't have enough organization systems. I don't have enough bins. I don't have enough pretty baskets. That's all I need. Once I get those things, I will get my clutter under control. Nope. You need to declutter first. You need to get rid of everything, because what you may find is that those bins and baskets end up becoming clutter in the long run, because all they do is, number one, they encourage you to keep things you don't need or want to keep. Number two, if you don't use them, then they're just sitting around. And number three, you really can't organize your way out of your clutter. You need to declutter first. Organization comes second. I know you've heard this tip. I just need to underscore it, because what I used to do when I was younger, I would say to myself, well, this room is a mess, so I'm going to declutter it. I'll be back later. I got to go shopping and get some bins. And I would go get some of those clear lucite, those plastic bins. I'd bring them home. And then I would put everything into those bins. And sure, the room would look cleaner, was not decluttered. If you enjoy content that helps you simplify your home and life, I would love to have you here. Click the subscribe button below. It's free. This next one is a little similar to what we just talked about, but I'm going to give you a little bit of a spin on it. The tip here, I would say to myself, if I could go back, stop storing things away. Away is just, you think it's out of sight, out of mind. It is not. You're thinking about it. You know it's there. You know you have a cluttered attic. You know you have a cluttered storage space in the basement. Whatever it is, don't store things away, because the bottom line is, when you store things away, that's where things go to die. You don't go there ever again. You don't look through them. You don't enjoy them. You don't need them. Truly, if you've stored things away and you haven't looked at them in years, chances are you don't care about them, and you may be able to do something with them, whether that's donating them, giving them to family members who may want them. Maybe you're hanging on to some heirloom pieces or art, and you just have it there, but you're not using it. Give it to somebody who loves it and who's going to get some use out of it. The next brutally honest advice: clutter attracts clutter. This is the law. This is just how it goes. I don't make these rules. I just know that that's what they are. For some reason, when you have clutter, it ends up you get more cluttered. And I see this all the time. It's really a snowball effect. So the more you let your clutter pile up, the worse it gets. And I realize that if you've let it get too far, I know how overwhelming that can be. And I'm just going to tell you, don't worry about it. Just start very small. Set a timer, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever you have time for, and just do a little bit. Just a little bit. It doesn't matter. You don't need to get it uncluttered in one day. I've always said we don't get cluttered in a day. We're not going to get decluttered in a day. That's fine. 5 or 10 minutes every day. That's all you need. Okay, number 7, the just in case or someday clutter that you're hanging on to. Someday is not coming. These are keeping you stuck. If you have not used them in years, you don't need them. I don't know who needs to hear that right now, but this happened to me. I would hang on to these someday items. I finally got to the point where it had been a decade and I still hadn't used those someday items, and I just said, done, getting rid of it. I don't know what caused me to get to that point. If you haven't used it in years, it's time to be honest with yourself. The next one is the I'll sell it trap. Oh, I am not a fan of selling things unless I can get $50 or more for something. I don't bother. It's a big hassle, right? You got to start putting stuff online. You have to take photos. You have to go back and forth with people. If you're selling something for $20, to me, it's not worth it. You need to decide if it's worth it to you. I also find that when I have things to sell, I just kind of let them pile up and I say to myself, well, I'll sell those at the weekend, or I'll sell those when I have more and then I can just put it all online. And then I don't. I'll tell you a little secret. I did a video recently about things I was decluttering, and I said I was decluttering a pair of roller skates. They were my daughter's. Well, she said to me, no, don't donate them. I'll sell them. And they're pretty expensive roller skates, so I'm okay with that because I do think she could get $50 for them at least. So I said, fine, go ahead and sell them, and I gave them back to her. Well, guess what? It's March. I think this has now been 3 months, 2 months since she was meant to sell them. Do you think she's taken a photo or put them online or made any move whatsoever? No, and it's not her fault. She's busy. You're busy. I'm busy. We're all busy. We do not have time for selling. If you've got something and you want to sell it, great. Give yourself 30 days. If you haven't put it up for sale and gotten rid of it within those 30 days, donate it. This one's hard. This next one is hard, but you need to stop buying things or you will never get uncluttered. This is just how the nature of stuff works. No amount of decluttering will help you if you're constantly bringing in stuff. And who wants to be decluttering forever anyway? Just get yourself to a manageable level of stuff, and then you can stop decluttering. Sure, maybe you'll have the everyday decluttering of paper and small things, but you don't have to do those big decluttering jobs for the rest of your life. Do it once, stop buying things, stop acquiring things, and you're done. And you know what? It's the perfect time if you want to do a no buy year or a no buy month, a no buy 3 months, whatever it is. I think this is a great time to try that. I'll actually link a card. I'm not even sure which side it's going to be on, but I did a no buy video. I did a no buy year a few years ago for 12 months. It was fantastic. I loved it. I'm thinking of doing it again next year. We'll see. Next one is you don't need to save all your kid stuff. And what I'll even say is you don't need to save it for the next kid, because what happens is I have 3 kids, right? So I've saved all the t-shirts from my firstborn. Then I saved all the t-shirts for my secondborn. Now my thirdborn, okay, I've got all his stuff. He's got his own t-shirts plus t-shirts from the other 2 kids. That kid has 60 t-shirts. Nobody needs 60 t-shirts. I need to declutter them. I did not need to save every single thing for each kid. And I'll also tell you, once the kids grow out of it, you want to save everything, right? Because a lot of stuff, especially baby stuff, can get nostalgic. Just pick a few very special items and keep them. The rest can go. It's very tempting to keep everything. I have a bunch of onesies and I have a bunch of blankets and I look at them and I'm like, oh, these little baby things. But I don't need those all. They're all very cute, but someone else could benefit from them. Someone else could use them. They don't need to be sitting stored in my attic. I don't need to save all of them. The next tip is to store frequently used items where you use them. I'm going to say this was life-changing to me, and maybe you're listening and thinking like, yeah, no kidding. But what I'm going to say is sometimes we fall into this trap where we say to ourselves, okay, well, this is the kitchen, so I'm only going to store kitchen stuff in here. I can't put my turkey roasting pan in the basement because I wouldn't use it in the basement. I use it in the kitchen. No, you store what you use often in that kitchen. So if you don't use the roasting pan often, it doesn't need to be in the kitchen. Guess what? I saw a guy comment. He said he brushes his teeth every morning in his kitchen because he doesn't want to wake up his family. And he stores his toothbrush in the kitchen. Fantastic. If that's where he uses the item, that is where it should be. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Whatever you do in your kitchen, that's what should be in there. The next one, you're going to love this if you have struggled with paper clutter. The minute you cross the threshold into your home, get rid of the paper that you are bringing in. So I don't even get the mail from my mailbox unless I am fully prepared to go through it and recycle any paper I don't need, file anything, take action on anything. I just don't bring the paper in the house unless I'm ready to do all of that. Because otherwise, once it comes into the house, it's no longer mail, right? Then it becomes paper clutter. And then it piles up. And then that rule we talked about with clutter attracting more clutter, that's what happens. It just piles and piles and piles. And then one day, a month later, you realize, oh gosh, I have a huge stack of mail to go through. As soon as you walk in the door, deal with it. Okay, guys, that is the brutally honest decluttering advice. I wish someone had told me. Hopefully it'll help you. I think it could help you at all different stages, whether you are young and maybe just starting out, maybe you're older and you want to get rid of some clutter, whatever it is. There's some nuggets in there I think that could benefit everyone. I hope it was helpful to you. And if you want to keep the decluttering going, as always, I'm going to link a playlist. So click on it and I'll see you over there. Bye-bye.